It is not looking good for the Indiana Fever front office today. Things are hitting the fan online, and it's getting real. There's two things in major sports that you don't want to have an issue with. That is selling tickets and locker room drama. And to me, it looked like the Indiana Fever got the recipe for both of them. Because based on some of the responses from fans online, yeah, it's getting real. Now, what if I was to tell you there was a fan that has season tickets, and he's not even from Indy, and he travels to Indy to go to games periodically throughout the month. Now,
what if I told you that the most valuable brand in women's basketball is currently experiencing a total system failure? Not just a few lost games or a bad shooting night, but a complete blue screen of death that has fans literally paying people to take their tickets away. Imagine being told you were getting the apple of basketball, a sleek, high-speed, revolutionary experience, only to realize you've been sold a dial-up connection in a fiber-optic world. That's exactly what's happening in Indiana right now, and the fallout is getting incredibly messy. It all started with a promise. A few months ago, the Indiana Fever front office, led by Kelly Krauskopf, sat in front of the cameras and sold a vision. They didn't just want to be a good team, they wanted to be a transcendent brand. They compared themselves to the Los Angeles Lakers and Apple. They wanted to be the gold standard, the mecca of the hoops world. And for a second, we all believed it. Why wouldn't we? They had the golden girl, the record breaker, the woman who single-handedly changed the economy of the sport. But as the saying goes, the higher the climb, the harder the fall. And right now, the Fever are in a free fall that even Caitlin Clark might not be able to pull them out of. The cracks aren't just showing, they're exploding all over social media. Just recently, a story went viral that should have every executive in Indianapolis losing sleep. A fan named John Michael, a guy who doesn't even live in the state, decided he'd finally had enough. This wasn't just a casual fan who missed a game because he was tired. This was a season ticket holder, someone who invested thousands of dollars, booked flights, and reserved hotels just to see a glimpse of the future. But instead of the future, he felt like he was watching a relic of the past. He took to X, formerly Twitter, and did something that sent shockwaves through the community. He didn't just sell his tickets, he tagged Amber Cox, the Fever COO, in the receipt. Imagine the level of frustration you have to feel to publicly, at the front office while you're offloading your seats at a massive loss. We're talking about games against the New York Liberty and the Seattle Storm, marquee matchups that should be the hottest tickets in town. Instead, John Michael took a quick sale offer, getting back maybe 50 cents for every dollar he spent. He basically said that losing money was better than losing more of his time watching a boring, broken system. When your most dedicated fans are willing to go into the red just to stop watching you play, you don't have a losing streak, you have a brand crisis. But the real drama isn't just in the box office, it's in the philosophy of the game itself. There's this lingering, eerie feeling that the people in charge don't actually know what they have in Caitlin Clark. Fans are looking at the sidelines and seeing a coaching style that feels more like a 1990s grinded-out defensive struggle than the high-octane, transition-heavy masterpiece we were promised. There's been a lot of chatter about Stephanie White, a coach who knows the Indiana culture but has never quite managed to hoist that trophy as the lead dog. Whether it's White or the current leadership, the sentiment is the same. Why are we trying to turn a Ferrari into a
static leadership? They are both morons. Hey, you're not alone. 2 adults, 2 teens, 2 kids canceled our family road trip to Indy for the Fever's back-to-back games. We canceled ours July through the 11th accommodation. Ain't buying stuff from Fever merch anymore. LOL. Damn. Mind you, Amber Cox is in the post. Now, John went on to talk about his situation. John stated, it's more enjoyable watching the Fever
minivan. People are starting to draw some really uncomfortable parallels to NBA history. They're looking at legends like Allen Iverson in Philly or Charles Barkley in Phoenix, guys who were absolute forces of nature but were constantly held back by locker room drama or systems that didn't fit their DNA. In AI's case, The team eventually just gave up and sent him to Denver because they couldn't figure out how to build around his lightning-fast style. The fear in Indy right now is that the front office is so stuck in their ways that they'd rather let the house burn down than admit their blueprint is outdated. And that leads us to the question everyone is terrified to ask: what if Caitlin Clark decides she's done? We've seen this movie before in professional sports. A star player realizes that their prime is being wasted by a front office that's more concerned with tradition than winning. There are already whispers and rumors floating around that CC might be looking at her downtown apartment and wondering if it's time to pack the bags. If she decides that her brand, the CC1 Empire, is being tarnished by a system that refuses to let her ball out, she might just take her talents somewhere that actually wants to play 21st century basketball. The comments sections are becoming a graveyard of family traditions. People are canceling road trips, stopping their merch orders, and openly mocking the leadership. One fan even noted that they'd rather see Caitlin Clark never win a ring at all than watch her win 3 rings in a boring, soul-crushing system. That is a wild statement to make, but it shows you the Caitlin Clark effect. The fans aren't just here for the W, they're here for the magic. And right now, the Indiana Fever front office is acting like a magician who refuses to pull the rabbit out of the hat because they think the hat looks better empty. It's a dangerous game they're playing. When you have people like John Michael, who are willing to eat the cost of flights and hotels just to stay home, you've lost the plot. The leadership can talk about being like Apple all they want, but Apple doesn't release an iPhone that can't make calls. They've built a stadium full of
To see Caitlin Clark and never get a ring than them killing what makes her special, and she get 3 rings in a boring-ass system. It is taboo to bring him up, but I'm talking. I can't make out what he's saying. Somebody said, whoa, I'm surprised someone else bought it from you. I avoided buying tickets this year altogether because I had a feeling this roster construction plus coach mythology, I'm sorry, guys, mythology would not look like good basketball at Amber Cox. John went on to say, I took the quick sale offer from Ticketmaster.
Expectations, and then proceeded to underdeliver on every single one of them. The question isn't whether the team is bad. Every team goes through growing pains. The question is whether the people at the top are too stubborn to change before their star player decides she's had enough of the ish and heads for the exit. As we look toward the All-Star break, the pressure is mounting. This isn't just about making the playoffs anymore. It's about saving the soul of the franchise. If they keep running these Connecticut-style sets that ignore Clark's greatest strengths, the fans won't just be selling their tickets at 50 cents on the dollar. They'll be giving them away for free. We're watching a masterclass in how to ruin a golden opportunity, and if something doesn't change fast, the Apple of the WNBA might just find itself filed under obsolete. You have to wonder what's going on behind those closed doors. Is there a genuine disconnect between the front office and the court, or is this a calculated attempt to humble a young star?
And as you guys can see here, this is John Michael with his family in Cambridge, rocking the Caitlin Clark gear. Look at how big the crowd was. I was just in India about 3 weeks ago. The crowd was not like this. Not like this at all. I was there. So, it was not like that. But this is what John said. John said, message for Amber Cox. Just sold tickets and canceled our hotel flight reservations for the back-to-back games on July/17th through the 18th. My daughter and I have flown in 2 years in a row.
Either way, the optics are DMN near catastrophic. Every time a season ticket holder posts a sold screenshot, a little bit of the Fever's future dies. The front office needs to realize that they aren't just managing a basketball team, they're managing a revolution. And in a revolution, the people usually win, and right now, the people are voting with their wallets. So, where do we go from here? Does the front office finally wake up and realize that the Mecca of basketball is currently a ghost town of disappointment? Or do we continue to watch this slow-motion train wreck until the transcendent brand becomes a cautionary tale for the rest of the league? One thing is for sure, the haters are loud, the fans are fed up, and the clock is ticking on the Caitlin Clark era in Indiana before it even truly begins. If they don't find a way to fix the system, they won't have to worry about selling tickets, because there won't be anyone left who cares enough to buy them. What would you do if you were in John Michael's shoes? Would you hold on and hope for a miracle, or would you take the loss and walk away? It's a tough spot to be in, especially when you've invested your heart and your bank account into a vision that seems to be blurring more every day. But as it stands, the Indiana Fever are providing a lesson in what happens when you have all the pieces of a puzzle but refuse to look at the picture on the box. It's messy, it's expensive, and it's a total heartbreak for anyone who actually loves the game. Let's just hope they figure it out before the CC1 era becomes nothing more than a what if in the history books.